Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to a new video. In this video we're going to be talking about the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. The first round took place last night on the World of Warcraft YouTube channel. So I kind of wanted to talk about what people are playing, why they'll be playing specific classes, and stuff that doesn't seem to be very strong or wasn't played very often in the current meta, why they've suddenly shot to kind of prevalent in the MDI. So let's go through it. And just before anything else, I'm just going to go through there was a total of 18 dungeons. Obviously, each round is two dungeons, so a total of 18 dungeons. I'm going to talk about all the different classes that were involved. So we had 18 Vengeance Demon Hunters. That means that 0 other tanks got any play. And there's a few reasons for this. The first reason is their mobility. Okay, they kick out a lot of damage, a lot of healing, a lot of utility, but ultimately they can do their massive pulls, and we'll talk about how they can orchestrate their massive pulls with their team. But them themselves, they have Sigil of Chains, which allows them to bring them all in. They have a lot of damage. They have a lot of ability to get away, and then you can see on screen that they're just able to jump around all over the place, gather up mobs, group them all together, and it allows the rest of the group to do what they're doing, which we'll talk about in a second. So, sort no other tanks, which is a little bit sad. I don't like seeing only one type of tank in a competitive situation like this. I do like seeing a little bit of variance, but ultimately, Vengeance Demon Hunters just offer too much at the moment for a group. In this scenario where they're trying to get every 1% out of the game, they just offer too much to be able to give that up. So, not surprising, we saw 18 Demon Hunters, Vengeance Demon Hunters. They also offer the 5% magic debuff on every mob that they've hit, which is crucial to the way that teams are playing right now. In terms of healers, we saw 3 Holy Pallies. Interestingly, I don't think we saw a Holy Pally actually win a round. So it just shows that while Holy Pally was playable, it was able to kick out more damage. And actually, if you looked at the start of this run between Echo and Quad ? Holy Pally kicked out nearly 13k DPS on the first pull. Now, they can kick out some crazy damage, as well as better healing than Disc. So why are people taking Disc? Well, first of all, it's a melee less. Melee is not favoured in this expansion at all, with a lot of the affixes, and actually having more melee for the sake of it just isn't fun. The second bit of it is power infusion. Discs have power infusion, which works really well with a fire mage, and that's pretty much what teams are playing around right now. Them 3 are staple in a group. So to give you some stats, 18 Vengeance Demon Hunters, that allows you to group everything in to give it a 5% buff, magic debuff, magic take, sorry, and all the utility to go along with that. We have 15 Discipline Priest played, so almost every run was a Discipline Priest. And like I said, I don't think we saw a Holy Pally actually win a round. So while they're viable and they're probably the second best healer in Mythic Plus right now, they don't quite have what it takes to be a Disc Priest in organised play. Now, that's not to say in Pug play we can't still see Holy Pallies, and I'll be doing another video on that, just to talk about kind of what we should take from MDI and what we shouldn't. Ultimately, we can't do the same things that these guys are doing. One, because the majority of the player base just isn't good enough to pull them off. The second part is because these guys have got a lot of communication, a lot of practice, and they're paid to do this. Ultimately, this is what a lot of the job. It'd be very difficult for us to invest the same amount of time to perfect these pulls as these guys can. So, yeah, I mean, I will be doing another video on that, so I hope you do have a look at that. If you are interested, please subscribe to the channel and it will pop up in the next couple of days. So to go through the DPS, we had 18 Fire Mages. Now, I'm not surprised. As I said before, Vengeance Demon Hunter, Discipline Priest, Fire Mage, they are the staple of a group right now, and I don't think we're going to see any group really play without them. I'd be very, very surprised if there's any group in this entire tournament, short of getting nerfed, that would not take them 3 people right now if they want to win, effectively. And that's a bit sad, but it is what it is. The second highest population was actually Windwalker Monk, which did surprise me a little bit. Now, if you actually look at what Windwalker offers, it doesn't necessarily offer the highest damage in every pull. It does offer 5% increased physical damage taken as part of its buff as soon as it does damage to something, which is nice in itself. It offers a leg sweep, which again, it's not too bad. It offers an interrupt. Now, this is where you need to start thinking about what does a group need. Now, ultimately, if you're running a Vengeance Demon Hunter, they have two interrupts. They have a kick and they have their Silence Sigil, which does have a longer cooldown. They have a mage. Well, a mage has a 24-second cooldown unless they're running the conduit, which takes it down to what I believe is 21 seconds. That's great, but you're not going to be able to get very many kicks with that. A Windwalker Monk offers an AoE stun on a low cooldown and leg sweep. It also offers an interrupt. This is quite key to the groups at the moment, as well as the fact that single target, it offers quite a lot of damage. An AoE, if it runs the AoE legendary, the spinning crane kick one, it can kick out a good chunk of AoE damage as well. So it offers a really well-rounded character into a group, and that in itself is worth it. The other part to this is a lot of these teams are running Alliance and they're running Night Elves, and the reason for that is for Shadow Mounts, they can skip some of the Pridefuls. Monks can be Night Elves, Night Elves can be Monks, so it fits to that whole ethos of a team as well. The third highest population was Unholy DK. Now, I'm not surprised here. Unholy DK has a lot of damage at the moment, and it does benefit also from the Vengeance Demon Hunter in terms of the magic damage taken. You also get an interrupt, you also get a combat res, you also get a grip and anti-magic zone. Everything that an Unholy DK offers right now, it really fits this sort of environment of teams. And while everyone's looking at the Fire Mage pulling 50k DPS with Combust, Rune of Power and Power Infusion, people aren't paying attention to the Unholy DK that's just using his own cooldowns and still pulling 30-40k DPS. So they do offer a lot. I think they're a little bit underplayed in the current meta in the game. Take it away from the MDI, I think they are underplayed in game. But they do offer a lot as well. And like I said, making up this Echo team, you've got the Windwalker Monk, the Fire Mage, and the Unholy DK. They offer so much utility. They have 3 reliable kicks, 2 kind of less reliable kicks, one of them being AoE. They have Time Warp on the Mage. They have Combat Res on the Unholy DK. The other part is a lot of these will be Engineer as well. Engineer allows you to craft an item that Combat Res doesn't have a 100% chance of success, but it's better than nothing. So if Fragrance does go down or Faithy Beard goes down, you have the option then to use someone else as a combat res. You also then, looking at the outlier classes, the classes that are used but not particularly common, you have Marksman Hunter. There was 3 of them over the total runs. You have 5 Boomkins that were played. I'll talk a little bit about Boomkins in a second. You have 1 Shadow Priest that was actually played in this Halls of Atonement by Curie Priest. Does a lot of single target, and it kind of still offers the power infusion. I'm not quite sure what legendary he was running. I have a feeling he was probably running the double power infusion one, so he and the Fire Mage could get power infusion. They're trying to play the same comp but still keep the Holy Pally's damage, and it potentially has the option to work. I just think you lose too much by bringing the Shadow Priest at the moment than you would by bringing more meta DPS anyway, and playing with a Disc Priest. But it's definitely an option. I think Shadow Priest will be played a little bit more now that it's been seen on the MDI stage. At the moment, it's people not play them. And we have 2 Outlaw Rogues. The Outlaw Rogues were played both in the Necrotic Wake dungeons. This is purely because of the snap. Now, I'll talk about the snap in more depth in a minute. There is an article that's just been on Wowhead about it as well. Effectively, the snap is where they pull all the mobs from the top room down to the bottom. They group them all up as part of just the way the game's played, the mechanics, and they blow it up with 150k DPS orb, which does a lot of damage. I will do a video specifically on that. I think it's something that won't go away from the game, so it's something that teams are going to have to abuse, and to abuse that they need either a hunter or a rogue. Rogue offers them the Shroud as well, which is why it was played. Outlaw Rogue also does kick out a lot of AoE damage. It's just not as high as the other classes at the moment. It doesn't really fit into a group quite as well. So talking about all of these then, we've got Demon Hunters as the tank. I don't think that's likely to change at the moment, short of very, very severe nerfs. They scale quite well with gear as well, which just means it's going to get worse and worse. You've got Discipline Priest that as long as they have double power infusion legendary, they are going to be able to funnel damage into one character. That being a fire mage at the moment with a 1 minute cooldown combust, they're just going to be able to keep pumping damage, these big pulls every 1 minute. And the Holy Pally's again playable, just doesn't quite have the same oomph in terms of the AoE burst damage that can come up your other classes. And in terms of DPS, Fire Mage, Windwalker Monk are very staple. Unholy DK is kind of there as well. It seems to be a Fire Mage, either an Unholy DK or Windwalker Monk in every team, and then either an off class or the other one of the three main classes. And that made up most of the team. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's more to come over the next couple of days, and if there's any questions you've got, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.